Welcome back to Inside Neverland. I'm James Carlton, and in this half of the show, I'll be continuing the story behind the creative minds of the phenomenal Peter Pan theatre show. We're taking a behind-the-scenes look at one of the world's greatest children's stories and its adaptation for a 21st century audience. If you've just joined us, welcome to the show. We're taking an exclusive look behind the scenes of Peter Pan and talking to the stage show team about how and why they have brought this beloved story back to life.
Really what we wanted to do was to restore the play to its status as a brilliant piece of art, brilliant piece of work that it was in 1904, but with 21st century technology.
We've also seen how the creative team have approached the story of the boy who never grows up in a completely original way.
The moment the projectors were running, it took over the room. That was a gulp moment, really.
But if you've missed all that, don't worry, because here's what's still to come. We find out exactly how the crew of Peter Pan moved the entire theatre show from London to California.
It's the first ever large-scale English theatre production to arrive first on the West Coast and open with an English cast of actors.
We go backstage to see exactly what goes on behind the scenes to make every single show a success.
This bit here is our automation control centre.
And we meet the cast of the show and find out what challenges they face performing in such a unique environment.
There's so much pent-up excitement when I'm on stage.
I'm always mildly trepidatious before each performance.
The show's producers had created a version of Peter Pan they believed J.M. Barrie himself would have appreciated. It was a hit in London and received great reviews in the press and national media. Now there was talk of moving the entire show stateside. But this is no ordinary show inside the theatre. The whole tent and all of its contents would have to be moved piece by individual piece. So, how exactly was that going to happen?
I think the fact that it's set so specifically in England has great appeal for English audiences because many of us have grown up with it, and that's where we identify it being written. And American audiences like it because, you know, to our good fortune, the Americans seem to like all things English, all things British. And certainly when the show opened in Kensington Gardens, a number of Americans came to see it and seemed to love it. So we were particularly excited to see how it went down when we played it to the Americans en masse.
We looked at the show in London. It became a second best-selling show for a period over the summer in London. And we went, wow, we can take this around the world. So having opened in May in London, in July we went, right, let's go to America. And we opened here on April the 27th. So a long but tiny compressed time period.
I happily, personally wasn't involved in packing up the show into the 20-odd sea containers that it took to ship the whole production, the 6,000 miles to San Francisco, but it took a few weeks.
The poles are 120 foot high. The tent at its highest point is 100 foot high. There's 3 IMAX cinemas worth of CGI projected 360 degrees around the tent. And I think that's more than 10 million pixels. We offloaded it at an AG venue in the UK at the O2, put it on these sea containers, and then they went on this boat. And to get to California, it has to go all the way down to Panama and then all the way back up. You know, there's a big emotional investment in the whole thing for everyone in the project, so it was like our baby. It's the first ever large-scale English theatre production to arrive first on the West Coast and open with an English cast of actors. Opening night here was a big night. It was about, you know, we'd managed to get it all in, we'd managed to get all the permitting done, and we kind of wanted to see how the American audiences felt about the show.
I think Americans generally are in touch with the film more, which is fine. And I think they're surprised by some of the storytelling, but they're much more, as an audience, they're much more open and much more vocal. British audiences tend to be very kind of sit in your seat, don't make a sound. And it was very hard to get used to because the noise, but it's lovely because there's a sense that they get involved. And they're not frightened to get involved. And so for us, as British actors, it's a lovely experience.
Different countries have different sense of humor, and you can really see that. What the American audiences go for sometimes is different. And it's interesting as well to see that sometimes, you know, humor is humor and everyone will get it and everyone will laugh at certain things.
Your hour has come! I say, would you like a touch of the cat before you walk the plank, my boys?
It's great when an audience has clearly had a very good time and they're really up for it. And of course, enthusiasm is endemic in American society. I mean, it's a society that's based around fun and enthusiasm. So the enthusiasm here has been remarkable.
Luckily for us, or you know, to do with what we've created, it was a fantastic response. So we feel pretty good.
Got you!
The custom-built tent, complete with its 30-foot-high screen, took 2 weeks to set up. Now complete with 5 tons of lighting, innumerable wires, props, cast, crew and contents, it had all arrived safely across the water here in America. A move to America didn't only mean a move for the tent, it meant a move for the all-important cast too.
Who have their work cut out, portraying the characters we've all grown to know so well.
The first major decision we had to do in terms of the actors was think about, well, what age do we go for? And we decided to go for actors in their early 20s to play the children. And this is because the text is quite ironical. And that's really only, I think, within the grasp of professional actors. We deliberately didn't go for teenagers, because of course, if you're a teenager, the last thing you want to do is be a child. Whereas I think if you go over the barrier of, say, 20, 21, you can access that child in you. And that was very much the approach. I was saying to the actors, you know, what is the child in you, and how can we draw upon that to make the production truthful and joyous? So that informed all our casting choices.
They had 3 descendants. Do you know what descendants means?
No.
Almost everything can be descended. Rats can be descendants. It's something which comes down.
Everyone has a picture of Peter Pan in their head, or, you know, you may have met a Peter Pan in your life, and everyone has their own, you know, connection with the story because it's so magnificent. To play that character is a privilege, really, but it's like playing a child on Christmas Eve every single day. So it's exhausting, but there's so much pent-up excitement when I'm on stage, and the whole show is me playing a child.
Wriggle your shoulders. Imagine you've got feathers. Think of your favourite things and say!
I'm flying! Whoosh!
Wendy's an amazing character. I think the tendency may be to play her in quite a cutesy way, a girly way, and she is very feminine, but and of course she's only 12 years old, but I hope that I've played her in a slightly tougher way, which is maybe a little bit more modern and more playful than she's usually played. But I think she's great. She's got guts and she goes along with it, and she's surrounded by men and boys. So yeah, I think she's fantastic.
What's your name?
Wendy Moira Angela Darling. And yours?
Peter Pan.
Our Tinkerbell is probably for the audience comes across as quite a different Tinkerbell in terms of, like, I think lots of people had the reference of Tinkerbell through Disney, or the interpretation of Disney, of Tinkerbell. Our Tinkerbell is closer to the original, to the Tinkerbell that Barry wrote. So although she can be sweet and fun, she can also be nasty and stubborn and tricksy. But I think one of the things that we tried with her was to bring the humor and make her a character that lives very much in the moment, like a child would do.
Tinkerbell is yours.
Hook is the sort of prime psychotic and I mean, he's a sort of pathological sort of killer, really, and he's quite decorative to boot. No, I think one should just go for the jugular as far as the character is concerned. Don't forget that the character is lethal. He's lethal, he's elegant, he's an isolated dandy, he's a snob. All the things that are really quite fun to play. But Hook just only has to look at somebody and they start quivering, you know, and that's really quite fun. I don't see that there's any problem with playing that.
What the devil was that? Go and see, check out your coward!
The people I work with every day are great. Really great, really great. Some of them I've known for a year and a half now, and some of them I've only known for the last few months, but we get on so well. And actually, I think this is the best the show has been, and the American actors just make it 10 times better.
The operation of the caper here has been absolutely near flawless. I mean, it's a very complicated show. The amount of cables and electronics and stuff is just extraordinary. I mean, all the stuff the audience doesn't see. I mean, to put it all together is really a considerable achievement. But everybody smiles a lot around here. Everybody's a pretty happy caper, I'd call it.
Come and experience it. There's nothing quite like it in the world, and it's a beautiful story. It's lots of fun. There's so much to look at. So yeah, come and have a trip with us to Neverland. That's what I'd say.
So now we know how the crew created the atmosphere for the world of Peter Pan, and the skies in which Wendy, Michael, John and Peter fly through, and the music that accompanies them. But what about the stage elements of the show? There's a lot more that goes on backstage, or should I say, below stage.
We're straight into Michael's bed. When the beds are substage, they're all spun round like this, so that there's not actually much room down here. So if you look just over here, we've got one of the big projectors. We've got 12 projectors down here, which project all the scenery for Peter Pan. Each one does 30 degrees because we work in 360 degrees projection, so the set is all around you. Kick out an awful lot of heat, so it gets very warm down here. This bit here is our automation control centre, so this controls all three of the beds. We've got Michael's bed here, John's bed and Wendy's bed. It's pretty simple. We've got a bed up and bed down function. We've got this unit here which controls the mound. So this also does mound up and mound down. And if you look just through there, that's our mound there, so we can see in there. So I can spin the mound now. So this is one of the trapdoors here. We've got special keys to unlock them all, to make sure that they only open when we want them to. The actors use this ladder and this trapdoor quite a lot throughout the show. One of the first times we use it is in the first Home Under the Ground scene, so which is a very quick transition, so all of the actors are actually helping us do the scene change. As you've seen, we've just opened the trapdoor, so this is the ladder that the actors come up, and they come up through the holes in the mound and then onto the stage.
It's all right, Nibs. They're gone.
Through these doors here, this is into one of the children's wardrobes. And then we go through the back. This is now backstage into the props area. So, as with everything in the show, the crocodile has been designed to be something that you would find around a nursery. So the crocodile lives and comes out of the back of the clothes cupboard. So if you have a look at the crocodile, it's all made up of the hangers and ties and bits of pyjamas and stuff that the kids would have found in a nursery.
If you've just joined us, we're behind the scenes in the world's first 360-degree cinema, which is part of the incredible Peter Pan stage show. We've been backstage talking to the cast and crew, finding out what goes into making this incredible production. Here's a quick recap.
We started our journey in London, England, where J.M. Barrie found the inspiration for his magical story about the boy who wouldn't grow up. The creators of the show showed us how they stayed as true as possible to Barry's original story through the means of scripting, music, staging, and cinema projections. And we've just seen how the show, like Peter and Wendy, flew on an epic voyage of its own to land here in the USA, fully equipped for their first performance.
Performing live every evening is a nerve-wracking experience for both cast and crew working on the show. A lot goes into making sure all the right buttons are pressed and that everything is in the right place at the right time. The cast and crew know that their hard work will pay off at the end of the night, but that can seem a long way off just before the curtain goes up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Part 1 beginner's course. Stand by please, stage management, elect sound, video area and wardrobe, and all technical staff for Part 1. Thank you.
The build-up is great. We have a warm-up which we do as a group. Everybody has to attend it, so we're instantly together on stage, and that happens about an hour and a half before we start.
We'll do 15 minutes of like physical warm-up, and we'll do 15 minutes of a vocal. Then we'll do a fight call on stage. So me and Hook get to practice our fight on the yard arm.
It's very much a sort of company exercise, you know, it's an ensemble exercise. We all have to work very much to and with each other.
1 2 1 2 2 2 2 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 2 tools next 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
We all have our little kind of rituals of getting ready and even just, you know, just getting your lights ready and your makeup ready and all of that, in a way, kind of puts you in that kind of space.
I'm always mildly trepidatious before each performance, as one waits to go on. As soon as you're on, then in a funny sort of way, the pressure's off. It's a peculiar kind of situation, but that seems to be the way of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening's performance of Peter Pan will begin in 3 minutes. Please take your seats now. This evening's performance will begin in 3 minutes.
It's been over 100 years since Barry wrote the story about Peter and his band of lost boys. But can such an old story about being forever young stand up to the might of Hollywood and video games? We thought we'd let the audience decide for themselves.
It was really good.
It was just captivating.
I thought it was really beautiful. I want to fly.
Oh, I thought it was fabulous. It was absolutely an amazing show.
I really enjoyed the integration of technology and with the acting. It was really cool to see.
I loved the special effects, and I loved the 360-degree screen. It was amazing.
I just think it's fantastic, and it follows the original play very closely, and it's very exciting the way that they're marrying the old with the new.
It was different than like a normal play that you would go to because it really brought you into it. You were like right there with all of the scene around you. So it was definitely interesting in that way. It was definitely a new experience.
I've never really seen it like as a show, and it was really cool.
It was heartwarming and it made me cry.
I thought it was great for adult entertainment too, as well as for kids. It was entertaining for the whole family.
It's magical. Yeah.
The hard work of the team behind the show and the cast and crew has definitely paid off. They have created a show that they can be proud of. If J.M. Barrie were alive today, I wonder what he would think of the interpretation. Even Barrie's goddaughter was impressed with how true it had remained to the author's vision and thought it could not be bettered. It is testament to Barrie's imagination and the vision and scope of everyone behind the show that in an age of 3D cinema and all the distractions of modern life, a well-presented tale of a boy who never grew up continues to mesmerize audiences again and again. And here's why.
What's your name?
Wendy Moira Angela Darling. And yours?
Peter Pan.
If J.M. Barrie saw our production, I would like to think that he would be thrilled with it. He was a hugely imaginative and progressive character, and I certainly believe that if he felt we were being as true to his original story as we have tried to be, then he would have loved it.